welcome to another episode of Table Talk. I'm your host, Jake Combs, and tonight we are taking a look at Arcane Cataclysm. Wow, I can't even speak. For Age of Sigmar. Now, this box, as of today, the date of this video airing, is available for pre-order. So obviously this box was sent to us by Games Workshop for the purpose of this video. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the Lunath Realm Lords versus the Disciples of Tzeentch. And now there are two specific new models in this box set. The Scenari Enlightener for the Lunath Realm Lords, and the first Curseling Eye of Tzeentch plastic model, where the previous Curseling, which is meant to be the same character from what I've read, was originally released in resin. There may have been a metal one before that, but I've never actually seen it if there was. So I don't know for sure if there was before. But of the two sculpts, I've looked at them side by side, and I can honestly say that at least the final pictures that they have on the community website of the plastic Curseling looks much better than the resin. Plus, in my experience, GW has a much higher track record of better looking models in plastic than they do in resin, in my opinion. I'm sure there's probably some people out there that disagree, but that's neither here nor there. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, this is not a new edition of Age of Sigmar. We're still in the current edition. We're still in the current season of new army books, battle tomes, that's the word I was looking for. So there's no changes to the rules, but we have added in two new models. And with the Lunath Realm Lords model, that model, from what I understand, again, I've never owned Lunath Realm Lords prior to today, and I've never played them, and I've never read their battle tome either. So my understanding of what I've read so far is that that model was featured in the rules, but there was not a model for her prior. So this is a first version of her, and if the way I read that was correct, then that means that some people may have already been playing with her already. And if you already have a proxy that you're happy with, this box may not be the best one for you as a Lunath Realm Lords player, unless you're looking to beef up your overall troops. But if you're somebody that wants to get started with Lunath Realm Lords, and this is going to be a great way to get started there. Specifically, I've actually always wanted to give them a try. I've heard really good things about them in game, and just never got around to actually picking some up. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to get started with them. Same with the Disciples of Tzeentch. Always being a Chaos player, I've never played anything with the Disciples of Tzeentch. Never even done anything with the Blue Horrors or Pink Horrors or anything like that. Tzeentch is one of those ones that I've always liked in the lore, but the models I was not as in love with as I am with the Hedonites of Slaanesh, the Rotbringers, the Followers of Khorne. And so these guys were always the lowest on the list for me as far as most desired. And so with a hobby as expensive as this can get, the armies that are higher up on your list are going to get more attention more often. And so it's going to be much more difficult to get started with one of those new groups when you're already invested in the others. But let's go ahead and get started. Definitely a bunch of stuff to get through, and as you can tell, I'm still dealing with my bronchitis, and so that means that my voice may go out at any moment. So we're going to try to get through this before that happens. And just to help, I'm going to go ahead and take a drink. All right. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to do a close-up of the models, specifically the two new ones. The rest of the models being previous releases, we're not going to zoom in on those ones just to save you guys some time. Those models have been out for a while, and you can take a look at them online as well. But let's go ahead and get started. Now, as I mentioned, the Curseling, and actually this... Okay, so this is parts of the Curseling, if not the whole thing. I'm not seeing a head, and I'm not seeing the guy that's kind of attached to him. So that tells me that there's actually two partial sprues that combine to make him. Now the Lunath Thrumlord character, she looks like she's complete on the one sprue. Let me look at this again. Okay, I was looking at it from the wrong angle. So I do see the body of the conjoined twin coming off the side. So it looks like I was at first mistaken. This is a complete model right there. All right, so first two sprues off the top are actually, let me rotate it. Yeah, so the first two sprues are exactly the same. These are the archers. I don't know what that unit is called, but there is a lot of great detail on them. I love how sleek the Lunath Thrumlords are. They very much remind me of the High Elves from Warhammer Fantasy Battles. And High Elves was one of those ones that I always wanted to get into, mostly because they had a dragon. You know, any unit, any army that has a dragon, I always wanted to have at least that dragon and a force to go with them. And so they were always one that I wanted to get in and to actually play with, but never got around to it before the end of Warhammer Fantasy Battles. So these ones aesthetically look very much like they're part of that same group, just much better looking models. And so definitely some really cool stuff there. So this one is some of our Tzeentch models. I believe these might be the Zangors. And then this one looks like more of those same guys, but also with the discs of Tzeentch, I believe is what they're called. And those actually are really cool looking things. I mean, I'm already thinking of ways to convert them into other things, kind of make like some of them actually look like open mouths. So it could make some cool terrain, kind of like maybe like a mini like Sarlacc pit type thing. And then we have, I believe these guys are called Acolytes of Tzeentch. A lot of great detail on them. I mean, most of these guys don't have shirts on, and there's a lot of attention detail to just the muscle itself. The weapons have a ton of detail. Looks like there's a bird. Not sure if that's perched on something or somebody, or if that's meant to be a flying piece. think it's being attached to somebody, and there's actually this sprue twice. A lot of great detail on there. And then we're down to our last couple sprues, and we're actually hooked. Let's see if we can separate this without breaking anything. There we go. Okay. Just a little worried there. All right, so this is more of the Tzeentch followers. I need to start learning what their units are called. They've always been really cool looking, but since I didn't play them, I never really bothered to learn their names as far as what units they are. A ton of detail on these guys, though, especially the armor that kind of goes around the waist and thighs, as well as the cloth that's hanging down between their legs. A lot of great detail in there, especially on their armor. And I mean, these models are really impressive. And you know, again, there's nothing new here as far as previous releases with those ones anyway. But having never actually spent time with the models themselves, I've never become acquainted with them, and so they're quite impressive to me, having never seen them before. So lastly, we have, it looks like, 4 total sprues to round out the Lunath Thrumlords. This big one is the horses, as well as parts of the riders, if not all of the riders. I'm looking so far, I don't see any heads. Now there's 1, 2. It looks like we have 4 horses. 3, 4. Okay, so it looks like this is all complete with the horses. And again, just what I was just saying, there's so much detail here just on the armor and the weapons themselves. You know, the Lunath Thrumlords typically are much more sleek, kind of have a flow to even their clothes, and so there's no difference here as far as that aesthetic is concerned. A lot of cloaks and capes type things, but the exposed armor has a lot of detail in there, and they've done a fantastic job on these. It looks like we've got some Bannermen Poles. If I remember right, these actually go on the backs of the guys that wield the swords. And actually, considering the fact that they're on the sprue with the guys' arms that are holding the swords, tells me that I'm right there. I'm just curious if so it looks like, and I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one, it looks like this sprue is not entire, is not the entire thing. And it actually looks like okay, it looks like these 2 sprues go together. So basically a sprue and a half for one group. And then there's this smaller sprue that also has another horse on it. So it looks like there's 5 total horses from what I saw. And I actually didn't look at this really before, but the shields have a ton of detail on them as well. I love that we get another one of these inserts. I do wish that this one did not puncture, because I've seen a lot of people hang theirs, and this is one of my favorite covers that we've had in recent years for a starter box. So I would have loved to hang that one. So we have our bases. Including our horse bases. Kind of got a little wax paper cover to protect the core rules, which this is a condensed version of the rules. And again, there's no new rules contained in there. But in this sleeve, so we have our assembly instructions. And some of them do have variants. And I can see right away that with the Venari Blade Lords, which those are the sword guys that I was talking about, I do see pieces from those two different sprues on them. So that confirms exactly what I suspected. Let's see. And it actually looks like I may have miscounted with the horses, because according to this, it's only showing 4 Dawn Riders. Or no, it is 5. I just can't count. The Venari or Roland Sentinels. Those are the archers. We got 6 of those. They all look pretty much identical. The Zangor Enlightened is on the discs, and so there's 3 of those on 3 separate discs. And then Carrick Alkalites are the ones that I was thinking of when I said Alkalites of Tzeentch. And then we also have the Zangor Host, which are the other Tzeentch models that I was talking about. I love the style of assembly guide that they have for these, just because of the fact that they're two-toned and allow you to identify easy, which models you've already, or which pieces you've put where, so that way you can see how the next one interacts with that. And then we have our tokens. So we have 2 rulers, as well as command points and some other tokens as well. That will help towards the campaign that comes with this. So this book right here for Arcane Cataclysm it has our battle plans, our war scrolls, the specific realm rules for playing this campaign, as well as some background on it as well. And then even has painted examples of this force, so you can see them side by side. And then in the realm rules, we go into our narrative play. In the Tombs of Sarandua, probably butchering the name, at least for one of the battle plans. We have the Shattered Land, we have Arcane Duel. And then we go into the specific rules for each of the models that are in this box. So anyone that wants to play this actual campaign itself, the rules here will allow you to do so. And Otherwise, for anyone that wants to play models for either side, it will allow you to do so without having to pick up the specific battle tomes. And without having to pick up the battle tomes means that if you're getting started to the game for the first time, it's going to be much easier to kind of dive in without having to drop the $30-40 on a battle tome. And I highly recommend, if you at the very least, if you and a friend are interested in both armies, or like one's interested in one, the other's interested in the other, going in and purchasing one of these boxes together. Or if you're looking for a great way to start on either army, especially if you're going to be using them for like Warcry, these boxes are fantastic for that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, I could if I actually sat down and looked through the boxes and all of our previous videos, but it's hard to quantify how many armies that I never would have touched otherwise, that I got to actually not just play but actually enjoy by doing these starters. And they're well worth the investment if you're interested in those armies. Now we're going to go and take a look at the two new models. Alright, so this is the Lunath Thrumlord model. Got some great detail on her, especially like for the base. We got the rocks, we got some trees coming out of it, or it almost looks like a bonsai plant. And then our curseling almost looks like feathers coming out of him, or like kind of like a feathery train. And this piece right here is the start of the conjoined twin, and I believe the rest of it's right here. Great looking models. Definitely looking forward to building these guys. Alright, so now that we're done with that, I again wanted to say thank you to Games Workshop for sharing this box with us for the purpose of this video. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that at the beginning, that they sent it to us. As of the date that this video goes live, this box is available for pre-order. Obviously they sent it to us ahead of time so we could do the video and get it out to you on time. Great stuff in here. Loving the look of these models. Really looking forward to actually getting them built up and painted. It's been quite a while since I've painted horses, so I'm really looking forward to it, especially since I actually have a daughter who loves horses, and I know she's going to have some input on exactly what style of horses she wants me to paint for these, and so that's going to be a fun little challenge as well. So definitely some cool stuff here. Again, I highly recommend picking up this box if you're interested in either force. And thank you guys all, as always, for watching. I do really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, please also hit that subscribe button. We are currently pushing to try to get to 1,000 subscribers, and if we can hit that number, that means we'll actually be able to update with YouTube to get a custom URL for the channel. That will make finding us much easier going forward, and once we do that. But it's going to rely on you guys to hit that subscribe button. So again, if you could do that, I would really appreciate it. But again, thank you guys for watching and for your continued support. We really appreciate it, and I hope you have yourselves a great night.